Welcome to this March tarot reading for personal growth and inner healing. The cards that came out are beautiful, super powerful. There was a lot of major arcana that came out. Major arcana have to do with big lessons, big themes that run through our lives and affect us at a soul level and that have ripple effects way down the line, not just in the present moment. So big energy here. Let's dive in. So for this reading, two cards wanted to come out in the first position and two cards wanted to come out in the second position too. So what energy are you coming into the month of March with? We got the Son of Wands and the Ace of Cups. And there's a lot of energy here. You can see it in the cards. So the Son of Wands is all about somebody who has a lot of energy, passion, just wants to rush forward. And not always thinking about how to get the plan done, but that can be great energy sometimes, just to have that kind of passion and drive and just like commitment to like try things out. There's a lot of creativity and also curiosity in this card. There's also a lot of energy, if you can just see that sun radiating out. And I find that especially coming after the winter months, where I know personally I was more inside and feeling a little bit tired, I do feel that like seeing the sun now, it's just different. It has a different light. It's brighter. I also like when I get out of work, it's actually light now instead of being dark. I feel like that energy in itself is giving me this kind of energy. It's making me, again, almost want to have a new beginning. And what's funny is we have the new beginning here, which is the Ace of Cups. And the Ace of Cups is all about basically new ideas, new creativities, new opportunities, but also like in relationships. And I find that a really interesting combination, especially coming out of the month of winter, where we might have been more hibernating, and here are maybe more opportunities to collaborate and to be again with people, but like they're fun. And there's this, I love this card. It's so light. There's something very beautiful about that. Just like this kind of warm energy, again, like maybe the warmth of the summer, not the summer, but the spring that might be coming in the month of March. I find that these cards are really fresh. There's like something fresh about them. And it's interesting because I was talking to somebody who was mentioning that sometimes, the beginning of the year, we always think it's in January, but that's just a convention. Actually, the real beginning of the year is more the 21st of March, because that's when spring is starting and we're starting to feel these internal energies. Whereas before we were maybe more like in a hibernating state. So I think these cards, I don't know, personally for me, they're very fitting for how I'm feeling at the beginning of this March. I am feeling a lot of energy coming back towards me, and I'm very happy about that, because sometimes at the end of winter, we're like, oh my gosh, is this going to be a permanent state? And it never is. So what is your soul lesson for this month? Again, two cards wanted to come out, and we got the Daughter of Pentacles and we got the Sun card. And it's so beautiful to see that sun come back out. It's so funny. It's very similar to this first card. It's almost like this is your energy, and then there's also this external energy that's coming in here to help, because the sun is all about that. The sun is all about basically being your authentic self, shining your light, finding also your inner child. It's about being really truthful and kind of like being really aligned and having nothing else to hide. And I love that, because and shining your light and being able to shine it like fully, not feeling like you have to hold back. And so to me, I think that could be a lesson, is just how to like let yourself shine, remembering that it's safe to do so, because sometimes we don't always feel safe to shine our light. And but I think especially if you're coming in with this energy, it's almost like the soul lesson is to be able to not only feel it, but then to radiate it out, to be able to have it like go out and feel confident with that. And then we have this Daughter of Pentacles, and I love the Daughter of Pentacles because the daughters are the youngest of the court cards, and they're kind of new, and they're trying things out. They might be a little bit, shy as they do that. And Pentacles have to do with our careers and our finances, but it also has to do with anything that we take time to build, things that are meaningful for us, but that are not quick fixes. And so, that could be either a relationship you're building, or maybe it's a career or a change in careers and you're starting out. It could also just be a new way of dealing with your body and your health, because Pentacles have to do with our bodies and our like kind of anything that's physical. And so, I think that the soul lesson here is how to both like remember that you're still learning and growing and at a beginner phase in whatever phase you're at, but to still not be shy about who you are and to kind of shine it out and not feel that you have to be perfect or have to be at this huge state of your life, like to be a king or a queen, and to still be able to radiate your light and your truth and wherever you are now confidently. That is the soul lesson that you will be learning this month. So now what to let go of this month? Wow, interesting. We got another major arcana, the Hermit. Well, that's a really funny one. The Hermit is all about being kind of more solitary, finding your own light, and following your own light. And it's interesting because finding this in the let go phase, to me, sometimes I find that that's triggering because I love being alone, and I feel like it's when I'm alone that I feel that I really connect to myself, but I also feel like I'm connecting more to my kind of calling and things like that. So actually seeing this as a let go, it might be time to stop almost using your own light. It's funny. Maybe it's time to let go of shining your own light only for yourself and to remember that you can shine that light out for others too. Because it's true that sometimes it feels safer to shine our light just when we're by ourselves, and that we can feel that we're only able to be ourselves when we're alone. And it's actually, I find that especially here with this soul lesson here, especially if you're learning to maybe shining your light, because you're learning, you're the daughter, you're in that learning beginning phase. Well, that it's like the soul lesson is about remembering that the light that you've developed on your own is strong enough now to come out and to maybe be able to guide others, or also just not to have to hide it, because it's not only necessarily that you're going to be helping others with your own light, but it's just that it's time to stop keeping it just for yourself, and or feeling safe, that you're only safe to shine your light when you're by yourself, and that now it's about shining it outside, and also remembering that as you're learning you might make mistakes, and that's okay. But I think this card is definitely interesting, especially coming after winter and where we're more in that hibernating state, that yeah, it's time to let go of that and to get out and to remember that there's a lot of learning that you can do also in interactions with others. Maybe it's we talked about that here with this one. This is all about new beginnings, but in terms of cups or relationships. So maybe there's a new relationship out there, and that not necessarily a romantic relationship. Maybe it's a partnership, maybe it's a friendship, maybe it's a collaboration of sorts. But sometimes I feel like we can only learn things about ourselves when we're by ourselves and we're really concentrating on that. But actually, it's sometimes when we're interacting with people that we actually sometimes even get triggered, but we learn a lot through working with other people. And so, yeah, I think today it's all about letting go of that, remembering that you are safe to shine your own light, regardless of the fact that you're not perfect yet and that you're still learning. That's okay. So what to lean into this month? Wow. Oh my gosh. Okay. Another major arcana. And what a major arcana. We got the Magician. And look at that sun again. Wow. There's really a theme going on in this reading with this like sun, the sun coming out. Wow. That one looks very, very similar with this kind of radiating out light. And this card is all about manifesting and action. It's about taking action, but it's also about knowing that you have all the tools at your feet. It's about trusting that. And I think it's actually linked to this, trusting that as you start shining your light, even if you're not perfect and you're still learning, that you have all the tools at your feet to do what you want, to be able to, whatever it is that you're kind of rushing forward with here, you have the tools to get it done, and you have that light and power. I love, love, love this card. It's such a beautiful, it's also soft though. I find that there's like, as powerful as this cheetah can be, there's also a softness to it. And interestingly enough, this cheetah has her paws on this pentacle. And, we just saw the pentacle in this card. And I just think it's about whatever it is that you're building, whatever is very meaningful to you, you have the power and you have all the tools to do it. And so now it's about being confident. It's about also, I think, getting out of your shell, maybe getting out of your comfort zone and remembering to put it out there. I think that is also the message, because this one is a very much more out there card. And it's also about remembering to shine your light, to do it, to shine this light that's coming out and being in this card as well, so that you can actually get what you're wanting done, what you kind of are rushing towards, to start manifesting. And to finish this reading, what is the message of love from your guides or your higher self? Wow, another major arcana. And again, a powerful major arcana, one of my favorites in the whole deck, the High Priestess. So the High Priestess is all about basically our subconscious, our intuition, our divine feminine, being in connection with that. And also remembering that we do have, again, the power. Both of these actually are very similar. This is the more perhaps masculine side of this. It's the more action based, and this is the more feminine. It's the day and the night, but they both go together, and there's the yin and the yang. And it's interesting too, because it's almost like taking the hermit side of you, the internal, more the high priestess part, and bringing it out. So what is beautiful about this card, though, is I always love the fact that it's about being in touch with your intuition and being in touch with your very profound guidance that you have inside, that we all have, that we just need to get in touch with, and that we need to trust. And that I love the fact that it's like the message of love is to remember to trust yourself, but also to listen to that little voice, to get back in touch and to do the things that make you be able to listen, to be able to hear. And that comes from sometimes doing solitary things, but it also comes from getting out there and pushing yourself, so that you're more public, more outside, more with other people, and you're learning to kind of own your power. You're learning to own your power, and but also because of everything that you've learned through going through your hermit phase, those things are priceless, and you keep those inside you even when you start to radiate your light out. And just always to remember that you have this power inside you. You have everything that you've learned here. You can now take off your training wheels. You've done all the work. This will always be inside you. You can always come back to it whenever you want. I love that. That's super powerful. So on that, I'm wishing you a wonderful month of March. I'm sending you lots and lots of laughter and lots of love as you learn to shine your light. I can't wait to see what you do with that. Please let me know in the comments, and I will see you next video. Thanks so much for watching.